Hi there, this is Mike of Nearly Enough Dice, and this is the Kerbal Space Program. We have a rather pretty site here, and I really need to find out how you get rid of the user interface to make pretty things. But I don't know how to do that. Well, maybe it's in the settings, but... Nope, no idea. Close. Anyway, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? There's the lander. There's Kerbin. And there's Jeb. So, I did eventually get to... I'll see, as you can see, I returned. This isn't actually the direction I left in. I flew back from the crater, which is... That's the crater I went to, I think. I was doing pretty well, I thought. I was doing pretty well. Wow, we are small and insignificant. I was doing pretty well, I thought. But I botched the landing. And I ended up going like 800 meters that way. So bad. But we did well. We got there. Flag. We've done science. There's really only one thing to do, and that's get back home. Well, there's actually one more thing to do, which is to take a nice publicity shot, which I think is Steve too. There you go. Fortunately, but the ladder doesn't actually go all the way down to the ground, but it doesn't matter because I can jump up and grab it. Even with the I've got like the tiniest amount of monopropellant left. I don't think I've got any new science. Yeah, so those are both things I already have, so that's fine. In I go. And I'll do something I always forget to do. I forgot this so often when I was testing this. I'm going to retract the ladder. Wow, I got to the moon. This is actually really, I'm geeking out. This is really actually rather sweet. I'm going to hit Alt and F5. I'm going to give away the fact that I have in fact been just recording all these in one session. But I want to make sure I can come back to this. Munar return. So there's still some fuel in these things. You know, there's science to be done. There's a whole goo canister. And I didn't bring a communicator, rather deliberately, because the whole point was to just bring everything back. But never mind. So that's not what I wanted to do. Never mind. Wasn't what I wanted to do at all! Dear me. I'm just gonna go vaguely eastwards. Very vaguely eastwards. And then I'm going to circularize my orbit. Ish. Also, I mean, it's not even to get a proper orbit, it's just to kind of so I don't smash into the ground again. That was embarrassing. Separate the whole. I was meant to hit space. I planned to hit space and then go. But I should have deactivated. What I should have done is probably deactivate the engines and then. Yeah. So I've learned a lot, I have to say, about going to the moon and back. My lander stage, I think I'm going to chuck those a bunch of those engines on, because the ones I had were really vastly more powerful than I needed, and because of that, seriously caused me problems. In that the slightest bit of throttle, and the whole thing went whoosh. So I didn't have any fine control, which didn't help with the landing very much. Me being completely pathetic at flying didn't help with the landing very much either, it must be said. But so as you can see, that little engine got this thing all the way up here. The other thing, all this lot weighs a lot more, but I had 3 times the engine, so it would have been. I'm pretty sure it would have been all right. And so obviously I did slightly panic. Let's do a crew report. Keep. While we're here, keep that. Oh, this is bad. There we go. More science, just more. Probably could have got some when I was in what would have counted as low. Let's turn on that thing. How's that for an idea? Right, there we go. Yeah, no monopropellant sadly because I used it all up, but I shouldn't need it. I mean, another thing I could have done. I could have done that landing on RCS. I think that might have been a good idea, as opposed to doing it the way I did do it, which was other things I could maybe have done. Because you can go to these engines and you can change the thrust limiter. I don't actually know if that means if I change the thrust limiter on this to like 50%, does that mean that that's now 0 and that's now 50 instead of 0 and 100%? And is the whole thing then proportional? I don't really know, and it's an important distinction to make. Because the other option is, say thrust limit at 50, it just stops at 50, and that's it. That's what that does. That's not necessarily what you want. So that's a thought. I think I probably do only need those engines for my lander stage. And I definitely need to think about that if I'm going to head to Minmus, which I do in fact now need to do. In terms of science, I'm going to want to head to Minmus. Well, sorry, in terms of getting Jeb lots of lovely XP, I want to go to Minmus. In fact, I don't think I'm even going to get him up another level by going to the moon, which is kind of sad when you think about it. 28 seconds, so about now. I rather suspect I'm going to want to do my get back to Kerbin burn here. Nav ball. Plenty of fuel. Get rid of that. Just trying to do the minimum that's going to get me a return. So I'll be there. And then I can work on, slimming this down and then actually landing. So let's move ourselves to our manoeuvre node. It's not actually the manoeuvre node, it's the manoeuvre indicator. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 5-ish seconds out. Seem to be doing alright for fuel. Going to readjust my position as the manoeuvre node tries to get away from me. And this is one of those ones where overdoing it probably would not have been a problem, so long as I escape. It's all good. My brain's just gone. That's way too shallow. I want more like 35. The problem with this at this length, you know, the smallest adjustment, and you know, has a big effect on the other end. .66 will get me there. It may take several passes, but I'll go with that. I'll go with that. I think it's close enough. I tend to. I'm sure. I don't know where I read this, but it's like aim for about 35k. But I will cheerfully aero brake at whatever. I think it's at 45, 46. I'm okay with that. That's just fine. Oh, it's going to take 5 days, is it? Maybe I don't want to take 5 days. Oh yeah, because I'm gonna. No. Let's go with that. That will require me to do a full bloody orbit. I don't feel like doing a full bloody orbit. That might be a bit close. That's very close. That's low. Right, so I've got a short burn at in 2 hours. Oh, all these lines and things. Oh no! I bollocks things up. Right, can I get rid of all my maneuver nodes? Can I just get rid of them all? There we go. We will get home. Promise. So bad at this. Whoop. The periapsis thing moving is a bit of a hint that you've possibly caused a problem. Right. I am happy with that now. Good. I've also forgotten how to maneuver my navel. Right, so that's only a day. Possibly there would have been some cunning way of getting the original orbit correct. As in my leaving the moon. I could have done this in some cunning way that would have gotten me where I want to be, as opposed to where I ended up. Having to do lots of fiddly maneuvers. And I think at least one of those maneuvers was really more of a makes me comfortable in what's going on, as opposed to, because why not just wait 5 days? In this version, you know, I don't have any of the life support mods or anything. I could have just gone around for 5 days. It just didn't feel right. And probably there should have been a way of doing it directly from the moon. From, you know, instead of having to do all this kind of nonsense. 22 seconds. I'm stopping and starting as I think, oh, am I pointing towards my node? You know. Oh, how long is the burn going to be? Okay. Yeah, we're alright. That'll do, that'll do. Slightly in, I think. If anything. Yep, 46k. I'm gonna chuck a maneuver. Nope. I'm gonna chuck a maneuver node on there just purely as a. I'm gonna try and set a maneuver node there. But that's more of a so I have an idea of time to. Yeah, at what point do I want to start paying attention again? And I want to point to retrograde pretty much from now on in. Wait. Why? Oh dear. That looks a little steep. Let's go prograde for a bit. Oh god. Whoop. Right. I think I want to go normal. And thus take it off that, because we might have a problem. Okay. Good thing I had spare fuel. Massively overbuilt this thing, but that's okay. So I mean, I've left fuel other places. Fuel on the moon. There's fuel in orbit around Kerbin. There's fuel in this thing. But thank goodness, because that's something. What I suspect it may have just been as simple as the. It is only ever an estimation of when you set up a maneuver node, it is only ever an estimation of what's going to happen, not what is actually going to happen. So if the estimate is wrong, then you can end up with a situation which is what nearly happened, which is that I might have. I mean, I don't know if it would have caused a problem, but I may well have ended up smashing the planet if the air, the air didn't stop me quickly enough. So, goodbye orbit view. Really, we don't really need the orbit view anymore. So here we are, back around Kerbin. We're still in the atmosphere technically, and we're coming in, a bit quite well. I don't think that's too fast. I think that's boom. I now can't time warp. That's how, it untime warped me. So I'm now in the Atmo. Hurrah! I think what I'm going to do, if I burn retro until I run out of engine, then I'm just going to fall out of the sky. So I can use that to kill my forward velocity. And so now I don't have that. I'm going to turn prograde, so when I jettison it, it's going to fall away, and I'm going to go back to retrograde. Stick the bottom end of the ship. I don't actually have a heat shield, but I'm going to pretend I've got a heat shield. And then going to fall through the atmosphere. Am I going back up again? Maybe I do need the orbital view. I'm going back around again. That's aggravating. I don't know. It's literally only a couple of hours, so what's to worry? I can just turn that off. Busily spin. No electric charge. I must be out of view of the sun. Yeah, it's just gone below the horizon. So I don't know if I'm going to need another pass around. No electric charge still. Have I just chosen a bad place to put my... Solar panels. Well, it looks like. Oh well. Yeah, I've managed to place the solar panels so they just happen to be completely edge on. Yeah, that's aggravating. Because the game is not terribly realistic at this stage, it's not that much of a problem. It's not like I've got some electric charge now. But yeah, it's not actually causing a problem. I'm not running out of life support or anything like that. Looks like it's gonna take a couple more orbits, in fact, to go round. I can cope with that. Have I passed my apoapsis yet? Just my periapsis. So that is, as theory, as low as I go. Oh, there we go. That's a good thing. Didn't know you could do that. I just brought up my my Munar rocket. I could rename it from here. Ooh, I could change it to Thing. How that interesting. Could change it to be Debris, which was not really accurate. So I'm still aerobraking. I'm still in the atmosphere. So that's all cool. But I'm beginning to. I'm just going to turn off the SAS. I'm just going to tumble until I actually really, need to. Pay attention. It's going to take a couple of orbits. It looks like. Very, very eccentric orbits. If I had a space station out, I might see about launching some kind of rescue. But I don't really see much point. He is going to eventually come in, and he's in a ship, so it's all good, I think. We can go high. I'm trying to work out when can you go the next level of warp up, because altitude of according to this, altitude of 200 whatever can only time warp at 4. There we go. Maybe I needed to go all the way down to time warp of 1. So we're going through the Atmo again, and so we can see my apoapsis coming down. It's really not coming down as fast as I would like. I don't think my parachutes would help me because I'm not going deep enough into the atmosphere. So maybe I should have aimed for about 30k instead of 40k. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to do at least another orbit. Man, I would be so cross if I was on that ship. I would not be a happy Kerbal. Six days. It's been 6 days. Let's go around again. Oh man. Clearly I should have put wings on the buggering thing. I guess that's why you aim for like 30 odd and 30 odd of altitude and not 40 odd. 30 odd looks like it's probably going to give me more of the braking that you need. Again, for next time, I think what I'm going to want to do is, because I did my burn essentially at my periapsis, which is the least efficient time to do a slowing down burn. But I was confident that I was going to get there. Whereas what I should have done is come in and then done my periapsis, changed my periapsis here, and then possibly the last bits of fuel would have been useful to me. Well, we're going around again. Come on, you can do it. Perhaps it's still 45. I should have, so clearly I should have gone for like 35 or something. 35, 36. I think I really think that is where you're supposed to go for, but never mind. I also panicked when I was way out here and suddenly realizing I was going to smash into the planet directly. I went, and then, you know, another orbit coming up. I mean, it's only taking like half, you know, it's only half an hour in orbit. But still, with a 6 hour day, that's you know, what's the 12th of a day? So my brain's just stopped working. Yeah, so it's like a 2 hour orbit. And I mean, it would. I just think it would suck. It's like, oh, you're going around again, another 2 hours. I hope your various urine storing facilities aren't overstretched at the moment. Right, so about halved. That was you know, no. We're at just about 900,000, and it was down to about 600,000, as you can see. So maybe this time. Oh dear me. Probably would have been quicker, just even from a game point of view, to launch a whole new rescue mission to grab him. Well, you can do that. What do you need? Yeah, just almost just a probe with a fuel tank. To attach it and give it some fuel, and just very simple thing. Yeah, I seem to lose a third each time. But again, I don't. This is very clearly not going to be enough. That's ridiculous. Still in Atmos. I'm still losing stuff. And I'm no longer in the atmosphere. So I'll get around again. What I'm enjoying about this is that it oh, I can't even go full thing there. is when I hit. I think it's when I hit an atmosphere, then it immediately chucks me down to 1 times warp, which is so handy. Don't have to think about things at all. I just get the feeling that I'm not going to land. I'm not going to start landing until that actually becomes underneath. You know, it's the fact that that's got to go underneath the atmosphere. I suppose my definition, that's pretty much what does happen. But oh, going again. Hope you brought a pack of cards to play solitaire with, or something anyway. Lordy Lord. Oh, my periapsis has gone down at long last. I think this is either going to be the actual proper last. Is this going to be the last one? I'm still quite deep in the atmosphere. At least I don't have that. I never got that issue where I might have just kind of skipped off completely. Admittedly, I did have still had rocket fuel left, so that probably wouldn't have happened no matter what. But that wasn't even a threat. If I do break atmosphere, which I think, yeah, I'm going to break atmosphere again. But this must be the last one. If I don't actually land this time, this has got to be the last one. Right, so I've broken atmosphere again. Can't more than 50 times. So I can get up to 100 times. And this has got to be the last one. Right, so got shield full charge, so I'm just gonna assume I am in fact going to finally get into the goddamn atmosphere. Well, I mean land is what I really mean. Good thing I don't have like deadly re-entry, because I'm sure I would have like burnt up like 8 times by now. Using up my electricity a bit, just about as quickly as I'm making it. Okay. Coming down, coming down, coming down. Now the question is, am I going to get below? Oh, am I going to get? Yeah, am I going to get to 30-odd thousand feet as opposed 30-odd thousand meters, just to 40-odd thousand meters? Last time I looked at my periapsis, it was 43k. And there we go. Still heading down. Still heading down. I'm going to pop into the orbital, and that's it. We are heading. We are going to be fully into the atmosphere. We have finally made it. I've ran out of charge again. Am I high enough that the chutes would even act as drogues? I'm going to wait until I get till that blue thing there. I'm going to down warp. Okay, so my chutes are deployed, but they're not doing anything because the atmosphere isn't interesting enough yet. I've got some charge, so I'll turn that back on. So the chutes will actually activate when the atmosphere is doing enough of an interesting thing. There's enough atmosphere for it to be worth it. Visible re-entry effects, but nothing can happen. It just looks pretty. I am not brave enough to get deadly re-entry. There he shoots. Yes. Oh, 7 days. It's taken 7 days, according to the mission log here. 7 days. A week. A week in space. Jebadiah Kerbin. Is going to be... Well, he's not going to get much of a hero's welcome, I don't think, because it's going to be very dark. Which means I'm not going to even know what I'm going to be landing in, to be perfectly honest. So I'm just going to speed things up a little bit. I want to get to below 2,000, and that's when I'm going to stop speeding things up. Yeah. So I'm going to be landing somewhere. Oh, it looks like, yep, splashdown. Which, you know, statistically speaking, is to be expected. Coming in at 76 meters per second. It's about 150 miles an hour. Probably more than, in fact. But then the chute's going to go boom! And not too much in the way of G-force. You would have expected there to be... I mean, going from 100 odd meters a second to 3 meters a second to, you know, well, 70 odd meters a second to 3 very quickly. But, hey. I don't care. I don't care. Cancel. I do not believe I need another crew report. There's the moon. We were on the moon not that long ago. So we can gaze at the moon and we can do the Buzz Aldrin "I stepped on your face" thing. And the only cover-ups to do with the moon landing are just how incompetent it was. Just how badly it was put together, and we fell over. And Jebadiah went moon surfing for enormous distances. Like, he slid on his face for like 700 meters. Like, and then, well, probably more. Probably the first time he did it for like a kilometer or so, and then on the way back, he said, "Oh, I'm nearly there," and skid for another 600 meters. Next time we might try and be clever and actually pick our landing sites, pick places that have got lots of biomes to play in. Although, in fact, next time we may actually just go straight to Minmus. A, for the science, and B, I want as many XP for Jebadiah as I possibly can get. Yeah, and yeah, a lot of things to do. I mean, I want to set up stations. I want to set up a little base, a base on Minmus, or a base on the moon. Je suis arrivé. I was going, yeah, sweet. Recover vessel, recover vessel. Let's see what we got. Blank screen, that's what I got at the minute. 504 science! Now what have we got here? We've got some congratulatory messages. Oh, okay, which we'll look at in a second. So we earned 413 science in one go, which feels like a lot. I don't think it actually is a lot, but it feels like a lot. That is so sweet. After all that, we've got 639 funds. We've got some of the launch gear which we can pick up. 2 XP gains, sweet. But he hasn't gone up a level, sadly. but didn't get any reputation. There you go. We have successfully explored the moon, so the 105 Kerbal bucks, its reputation. Transmit or recover scientific data from the moon, surface of the moon, complete. So 30 science, 150 odd science and reputation. So there you go. That is a successful. I think these are just the launch civility towers. That is a successful moon landing after all that. With a certain amount of having to make stuff up as I went along. But we now have 500 for science, which means I can go here, I can just kind of browse the science and decide what I want to use. But I'm going to do that next time. So, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you've been enjoying these videos. Join us at www.nearlyenoughdice.com for our role-playing game themed podcast and blog. And until we meet again, if you aim for the moon and miss, you will at the very least end up in the stars.